Hey friends, welcome. Alan Lee here with Honestly Handyman Services coming at you from a new location. How are you all doing tonight? Welcome. Let's see if this thing is going here. I don't even know if this live stream is going, but if you're on this live stream, let me know what's up. Let me know, say hi, where you're from, what your name is. What's up, guys? This is Alan Lee with Honestly Handyman Services. Great to have you all with me tonight. We got Yamet from San Diego. What is up? Good to have you here. We got Scott R. Welcome. Let me know what your name is, where you're from, and if you have a handyman business or not. I would love to know it. And I hope it's not too echoey in here. I think it is echoey. So let me try. I don't know. We'll see. Let me know if it's echoey. We got Scott R. We got Austin. Dude, I'm from Texas and drove through Sacramento tonight. Awesome, dude. Well, if you can't tell, I'm not in Sacramento. I'm actually in the basement of a house right now. So they don't have any of those in California. So maybe you guys could figure out where I'm at. Let's see. We got Chris Hayes in the house. What's up, Chris? We got Joel Stanley. What is up? Seth McMichael from St. Louis. What's up, Seth? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. I actually just met with Seth a few days ago. I don't know if that gives you any idea where I'm at, but we went and we had some barbecue together. That was great. Nancy, let's see. Let's get back to the comments here. We got Nancy from New Jersey, Marty 1, loud and clear. Thanks, man. Scott R from Louisiana, Oklahoma City, Chris Hayes, San Jose. We got Caesar from Chicago. What's up, man? From Visalia, Brett. 2+ years, handyman full-time, Austin. Awesome, man. That's great, dude. I'd love to hear you guys, if you have a handyman business or not, and how long you've been in business, and if you're loving it, or if you're hating it. I want to hear it. And also what your questions are. You know, if you have any questions about pricing, estimating, things like that. Anthony Hernandez from San Antonio, Texas. Eric Young. Clean Slate Services is my construction remodeling business, Pacific. Nice. Pacific Northwest. I like that. Juan Martinez. What's up, Juan? Good to see you, man. How's your business been going, Juan? Great to see you. Yeah, Joseph Harris. I've been missing the live video, too. I haven't had a chance to get on the live videos here recently. But I got some time right now, and it's actually where I'm at. It's a little bit later than, yeah. So, Austin says I'm in Denver. No, I'm not in Denver. Who else can guess where I'm at? I am not in Sacramento, California. I am in a basement of a house right now. They don't have those in California. So try and figure out where I'm at. We got Ed from Frisco, Texas. Also a handyman. Dude, great to have you, man. Seth McMichael says STL. Don't give it away yet, Seth. Juan Martinez says Nevada. Not Nevada. Hugh Lee says, what's up? Hugh Lee here, and love your company name. I flip homes in Phoenix, and your videos helped. Dude, that's great. That's awesome that it helped. We got Carl Armbrust from Lynchburg, Virginia. Great to have you, man. Anthony from San Antonio. Oh, from San Antonio, too. From PA. Marty, Chris Hatcher, Atlanta. Austin says San Jose. Pete the Handyman. What's up, Pete? Good to see you, man. Bowie MD in the house. Man, Lee, love you, bro. Hey, that's awesome, Doug. Great to have you here, Doug. Austin, I'm in San Jose tonight. Stupid question. I know you're Christian. Do your values affect the way you choose your jobs or work ethic? IDK, if that makes much sense of a question. Yeah, that's a great question. So I just try and do the best job I possibly can. You know, I don't really worry about competitors or the work they do. All I do is, work as honest and with as much integrity as I can. So that's kind of how I live my life. So that's definitely how my work ethic goes. Austin says, love it. Addicted to the freedom. Dude, that's great. I got a video coming out tomorrow morning that's exactly about that, the freedom of having a handyman business, but also the other side of it, right? You could also create just a job that you're stuck in and really a prison, So it's kind of up to you whether you have freedom in the business or prison. So let's see. We got Caesar, full-time handyman. Juan, San Antonio, getting my feet wet with the Handy app. Nice. I've been doing great just north of Atlanta, but I'm thinking about moving. Where did that go? Oh, to Daytona. Chris Hatcher. Nice. Weekend handyman, wishing I could quit my day job and go full time. Joel. Hey, Joel, I would love to ask you, what are some things that are holding you back from quitting your day job and going full time as a handyman? I know that there's a lot of things to think about, but I would love to hear, and possibly some guys in this group could help you out with that. Nancy says, keep it up. Thanks for all the great content. Hey, you're welcome, man. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Appreciate you being here, Nancy. Caesar from Indiana. Pedro says, Oregon. I'm not in Oregon. Guess where I'm at, guys. I bet you can't guess where I'm at. Well, one guy can. Seth can guess. Bought a truck a few days ago. Finally able to work towards getting my business going. Dude, that's awesome, Chris. Brett says, no handyman business, but would like to start a small handyman business. I do small jobs for now. Brett, that's awesome, man. I mean, having that, the want is the first thing for sure. Darren says, better be in Canada. I'm not in Canada, eh? I'm still in America here. Anthony Hernandez says, guess is Colorado. I'm not in Colorado. Nope. I think that's where the handyman is located. I'm not there. Austin says, my question, you transitioned to hourly. I'm in the process of transitioning away from it. What made you decide to go that route? Yeah, so, there's a lot of people that have thoughts on hourly, whether you should charge hourly or not. And really, it's up to you. I don't charge hourly all the time, but I do charge hourly most of the time. So on jobs, say like if someone wants a ceiling fan installed, I will charge them a flat rate for that. So 100, usually we go about $150 for a ceiling fan. But on most things, we do an hourly rate, and that's because we want to maximize our time and maximize the client's dollar. And it just goes further that way. So if someone calls us for one little thing, like maybe 5 pictures hung, we say, well, our hourly rate is $90 an hour with a 2-hour minimum. And if you have anything extra that we could do while we're there in those 2 hours, we would love to do it. That way we, maximize our time and your money. So basically our minimum rate is $180, but we always encourage people to add things on. And by doing that, we found really by doing it for the last 5 months that people add on a lot of bigger things, and they think of things that they didn't think of beforehand. And they're also more likely to call you back because at the get-go, you're telling them that, hey, I honor your money, so I want it to go the furthest that it can. That's just like another thing that we started out, and we've done it, and it's really worked for us. So that's why we have gone mainly hourly. We still do some, quoting, but yeah, mainly hourly. Juan Martinez. Oh man, there we go. Juan Martinez, where'd you go? Man, sorry guys, my comments just got switched up here. Juan Martinez says, my business is going good, started slow, but it is steady now, 3 to 5 jobs a week or so. Pretty perfect because I still have a steady job. Dude, Juan, that's great. Juan, if you don't know Juan, he was a guy that he bought our Handyman Journey course that we have over at handymanjourney.com a few months ago, and went through that and we spoke, and he's got some pretty cool stuff going on. So pretty excited for you, Juan. That's great, man. Chris Hatcher says you should talk about finding good help. That's a great topic. That's a very great topic. So let's see here. Let me answer some of these, and I'll get back to that question, Chris, because that's a great topic to talk about, finding good help. Austin says, I'm visiting Sacramento on vacation in September. Can I buy you a coffee and talk shop? Yeah, dude, for sure. I'll be back in town probably the second week in September. So hit me up for sure. Send me an email. Austin, send me an email at handymanjourney@gmail.com. I may not get back to you right away because I'm pretty busy, but I would definitely love to meet up with you in September for sure, Austin. Joel Stanley says loans and child support. Yeah, finances is a pretty hard thing to make the transition into the handyman business, but there's definitely a way for sure. Boss says, are you in Las Vegas? Nope, not in Las Vegas. Caesar says, are you in Indiana? Joel says, also buying health insurance. Yeah. So Joel, we've had some good luck with health insurance. It's called Samaritan's Ministries, and it's a health share network. So basically you are on health share network with people from all around the world. and or the U.S. at least. I don't know about the world, but it's pretty cool, and it's kind of an alternative to health insurance and stuff like that. Nancy guesses, are you in Washington? No. Chris Hatcher says, you're in St. Louis. Dude, I am in St. Louis. Seth McMichael knows that. So yeah, I'm in St. Louis now for about a month, and I'm going to explain a little bit more about that in my video tomorrow morning. So you're going to want to tune into that. I'm in St. Louis for about a month and possibly until the beginning of September. So I'm not sure. So it's going to be a little while, but basically my daughter's, we are here seeking a professional or a specialist for my daughter's medical issues. She's had 2 appointments so far. She has another appointment coming up this week, and then she has surgery next week. So we are here in St. Louis for that. And in the video I post tomorrow morning, I'm actually going to be talking about how I have established my business back home, where my business is still running, making money, and providing for my family and also my employees and things like that. So I will be discussing a little bit more about that in the video tomorrow morning. That's posting at 6 a.m. Central Time. So I am excited about that, and excited just to share a little bit about how I have structured my business to make it feasible for me to leave for a month and still have the business operate without me. It's been quite a blessing. Obviously, I'm still doing a lot of the business aspects here in St. Louis. I could do them all, online, doing a lot of marketing, business strategies, and, working on paperwork and just a lot of the business side of things. So I'm still doing that. I'm still working, on the business, but I'm not working in the business, if that makes sense. So, and I'm actually working with Seth McMichael next Tuesday. I'm excited about that. He's hooked me up with he's got a flooring job going on. So blessed to work with him. I think that'll be exciting to learn a little bit from him and gain a little bit of knowledge about how he does things over here in Missouri. That's kind of exciting. So let's see. We got Bob says, hi, Alan. Bob from Australia. My business name is Call Bob Home Maintenance. Awesome, man. My DIY adventure says there is no good help. I would say that there is good help. You just got to know how to find it. Let's see. Fernando says, what do you think about locksmithing alongside handyman? Yeah, I think locksmithing is a great thing. I've done a few locksmithing jobs, and they're pretty lucrative. So they definitely fit in alongside handyman. Pete the handyman says, how does everyone handle the summer heat? That's a very good question. Very good question. For me, I just wear my uniform all year long and just try and stay out of the sun as much as possible and drink a lot of water. Juan says, how about a meet and greet down south, maybe between LA and South Bay? Yeah, that'd be cool to have a meetup down there. We'd have to schedule that possibly for later this year, but that'd be pretty cool. Austin says, I haven't heard of Samaritan's Ministries. I have Christian Health Ministries. Oh, I haven't heard of Christian. There's a lot of those, health share networks, Christian. My wife is actually on Samaritan's Ministries. I'm on one called Liberty Health Shares, and I'll be transferring over to Samaritan's Ministries here soon, just because they're cheaper now that we have my daughter on that. So, there's a lot of those Christian health ministries that I think are way better than health insurance, because, for instance, you pay cash for everything. So you get an extreme discount if you're paying cash. For instance, we're here seeing a specialist in St. Louis for my daughter, paying all cash. We get I believe it's a 30 or 40% discount right off the top, of what they would normally charge. So it's absolutely amazing. That's just a big discount right there. And then you pay cash, and then that cash gets reimbursed from people around the U.S., So let's see here. Joseph Harris says, Joel, there is a way to keep child support from taking the business money. It costs to do it $800. For me, it depends on the area you are in, etc. I can shoot you the information if you like. Hey, that's pretty cool info. Eduardo says, prayers for your daughter and family. Dude, thank you so much, Eduardo. I really appreciate that. Pete, the handyman says, best wishes and good luck to your little one. Thank you. She's in great hands. This doctor, we've come specifically for him. And people come, I'm just jaded, my DIY adventure says, about good help. Lee Drew says, prayers to your family and daughter. I appreciate that, man. Carl Armburst says another option similar to Samaritan's Ministries is Medishare. Yeah, Medishare works. Have had it for several years. Very reasonable compared to insurance. Yeah, Medishare is a good one. I hear about that on the Christian radio station all the time. Rich D says, I used to be solely a house painter. My clients always had me doing handyman projects. I recently reconstructed my business and now offer handyman and home watch services. Watching yours helps. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Rich, that's awesome. Scott says, what are you doing in that basement? This is just the basement of the house I'm staying in. You know, I'm just doing it because my wife's up there resting and my daughter's sleeping upstairs. So I am in the basement doing the live. I'm actually going to be doing some work on this house here recently. I just submitted a list for repair to the homeowner of this house. This is an Airbnb that we're staying in, but we have some friends that own this house. So they've told me to kind of go through it and see what needed to be done and this and that. So I worked up a list of work that needed to be done and just submitted that to them this evening, and hopefully they approve all that, and I'll get started on that next week. And then, like I said, I also got a flooring job with Seth on the other side of town starting Tuesday. So that'll be cool. I share the well wishes for your little one. Dude, I appreciate that. The neighborhood handyman prayers, brother. Cool. Thank you guys so much. The neighborhood handyman, knock out some cave paintings while you're down there. For sure. It's pretty interesting down here. This is one of the projects I'm going to be doing is right in here. There was an added on. This is where the kitchen was added on. So this is actually the new kitchen. The kitchen used to be up here, but it got added on over here. So right up here is where all the PEX goes to the new kitchen. But they don't have any water behind the fridge. So that's one of my projects is I'm going to tee off this PEX line right here, this 3/4 PEX line, bring it down to 1/2 inch and put a 1/4 inch line for fridge water and just run that right up to the fridge, which is just right here. So that's one of my jobs that I'm going to be doing here. So let's talk about work. Let's talk about finding good people to help. Finding good help. That's one of the hardest things, and I've gotten a lot of questions about that. A lot of people ask, what's the best way to find help? Should I go on Craigslist? Should I put an ad in my newspaper? How do you find help? And this is probably one of the biggest things ever. Really, what I would say is find someone who doesn't know much, but is very interested in learning. Now, this is very different than what most people would say. Most people would say you got to find the best person in your trade and hire them. That's why you can't find good labor, because those people are all taken up and they're being paid, $50, $75 an hour or whatever. So what I believe, you need to find someone who doesn't know very much. So maybe coming out of high school, but they know a little bit, right? I mean, you don't want to find someone who doesn't have any smarts at all, but you want to find someone with a little bit of knowledge, right? But a big willingness to learn. Like they're just super excited about whatever it may be, plumbing, electrical, carpentry, drywall. They're just super excited about it and ready to learn and ready to do whatever you say. So I think this is one of the most important things about finding good help. And what most people get wrong is that they are looking in the wrong place. So this can even come from maybe people who just got out of high school and they took a few shop classes and they're really uncertain about their future. They don't know. Whoa, that was kind of crazy. My wife must have just flushed the toilet or something, and I'm right next to the plumbing lines, and I'm like, whoa, everything just started moving and making noise. So that was super weird. But that's what I would say is find someone that's unskilled, you might say, right? And because when they learn from you, they learn it to do the right way, rather than being corrupted by someone else and learning someone else's style, down the road. So I would say that's one of the most important things that you can do, and that it'll probably help you a lot. Finding work is, let's see if I can put this. Yeah, I don't know where to put this now. But yeah, that's how I would say finding work. And that's what I would say that you got to do is find someone who is not necessarily the best in the field, but someone who is willing to learn, and someone who, someone who's maybe a little uncertain about their future even, sorry, this lighting is horrible. Someone who maybe they don't know what they want to do in college. They don't know what they want to do for the rest of their life, but they just got out of high school and they're looking for something to get started in. might be perfect to pick up that person. You might have to do a little bit of training, but if you get someone that's fresh out of whatever, super green, and you train them and you raise them up in your organization, they're going to be heck of worker. They're going to be really good workers for you. So that would be my recommendation. Has anyone tried that here in this live? Have they tried hiring, someone fresh out of high school or whatever? I know, our friend Robert Daly in Texas, I know he got a guy that was just out of high school and has started apprenticing with him and really has a good guy going that route. So that's what I would do. And I got kind of blessed because I found the employee that works for me, Frank. He's a great guy, absolutely amazing handyman, amazing honesty in him. He's super amazing. So I found him because we used to work together in the automotive field, and I went off and started my business. And then a few years later, he called me up and he's like, "Hey, Alan, I heard you're doing handyman stuff. I'm interested what you got going on." And that he was interested in what I was doing. So he kind of came along and he was a perfect fit. So that was a huge blessing there. Let's see here. Eric Creeman says, custom handyman from Delaware, Ohio. Like your videos. All the best to your daughter. Thanks, man. Dennis Gonzalez says, blessings. The neighborhood handyman says, hey, you still have that fellow working for you? Haven't kept up with your videos in the last few months. Hey, so if you are interested, like I said before, in how my business is still running in Sacramento right now and still making money right now, tune into my video tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time, and you'll hear all about that. I'll be talking about my employee Frank and my other part-time employee April, just how they are just crushing things over there, and how we've designed that so that can continue to happen. So make sure you tune into that video next Monday morning. But for sure, I still have that one, Frank working for me. Yeah. JetFan95 says, hey, Lee, how did you learn so much? Man, I'm 24, getting into electrical trade, and I hope to one day own my own business like you. Man, you're awesome. Hey, Jeff Fan, thanks so much for your comment. Really, it's all about applying yourself. I was always that kid who was super. I remember people told me I was annoying because I was that kid who asked why for everything. I'd be like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Why does this work that way? So you have to be super anxious about learning and super interested in whatever someone is doing. So whenever someone was like pulling a dishwasher out in my family or in my neighborhood, I was over there asking what's up. Even when someone was out there trimming a tree, I'd be out there, why are you doing that? Or why are you cutting it this way? What, this and that. So that's one thing that I would say, in whatever you want to learn, you need to find out who's good at that and really seek them out and find out how they do it and what they have to offer you. Let's see. Chris Hatcher says, I've got a good kid, but he's off to college now. Yeah, that happens. Sometimes people decide that they want to go to college and you kind of unfortunately lose them, That is one thing definitely that can happen. Derek Lewis says, from San Antonio, I see there are at least 2 other people from SA. Yeah, there are a few other people. Pretty sweet. I had a guy that was smart and ambitious, but unfortunately was a drinker. There's a lot of things that will pull people away from the direction you're trying to get them at. And unfortunately, that's kind of just the way the world works. So you gotta try and not only mentor people in the trades and the business, but mentor them in life too, if you can. Yeah, that's unfortunate that, that you had a smart and ambitious guy, but he was a drinker. I mean, sometimes that happens, The neighborhood handyman says, I can agree with you. I can agree with this. I hired a fella that seemed to know what was going on, but he had to be told what to do every move. He knew what to do, but wouldn't get after it until he was told to. Yeah, and it's funny, like there's just a stage in some people's lives where they just want to do their own thing and they don't want to listen to authority. I kind of went through a stage like that. I remember some of my first jobs, like I was not a very good employee because people would, let's see. Sorry. Because yeah, people, my boss, he'd tell me to do something and I would do it a little bit and I'd be like, is this good enough? Anytime you have to ask, is this good enough? And you don't know the answer, like, yeah, you should not be doing that job. You need to go do something else. Because I was a little punk. But yeah, that sucks that sometimes people are like that. Austin says, I've subbed guys from time to time, but I haven't gotten busy enough to hire someone. Do you advertise? I've started a little on Google, but it's only been moderately effective. Yeah, so currently I advertise on Yelp. I used to advertise on Yelp when I first started up, and I just started up advertising on Yelp 2 months ago. And really because the vision for my business is to bring in more clients so that I can grow my business more. And I've grown it this much with the work that I have right now. But one thing in marketing is when you think you have enough business and enough clientele, you need to continue marketing. Just like gathering, like if you're out lost in the wilderness, right? Once you think you have enough wood, you need to keep gathering more because you probably will not have enough and you will die. So you got to kind of have that mindset to it, right? So like the moment when you think you have enough clients, you actually don't, and you need to keep getting them. So I am a big advocate for advertising, figuring out what advertising platform works best in your area because they don't always work everywhere. So yeah, that's important. Austin says Derek Luce. Oh, okay. So yeah, Austin wants Derek and Anthony to reach out to him, trying to build a network of good guys for referrals. Dude, that's awesome. And there's another great way to connect with handymen in your area, and that is the Handyman Journey Mastermind group on Facebook. If you're not part of that, you should definitely join that. We've had guys from all around the world that have met guys that are in their city and they never even knew it. And they've been able to establish great handyman networks through that. So that's been a great deal. So Rich D says, you shared that HomeWise app. Do you still use this as a guide? Would love some more advice. I sometimes struggle being firm with my prices and knowing my work is worth it. Any struggles with this? Yeah, that's a big struggle, especially when you first start out. I don't really use HomeWise anymore just because I have a good idea of what things cost and, kind of what my market rate is in my area. So yeah, that's a whole nother thing. And I have a bunch of videos on establishing your pricing as a handyman. And specifically, I have a course I talked about a little bit earlier on figuring out what your price needs to be as a handyman. And I have that course over at handymanjourney.com. You can definitely go purchase that course. It's a great course that walks you through exactly what you need to know about pricing and establishing your prices effectively, and also how to stand firm on them. Because if you know how much money you need as a handyman to survive, you're going to be very more likely to stand behind your prices than if you didn't know that. So I would highly recommend you check that out. And I also have a bunch of free videos on YouTube about establishing your pricing as well. But that's a big thing that many people have struggles with, and I've struggled with that a lot in the past too. But it all comes down to you got to know how much you need to survive. And that will lead into you standing more firmly behind your pricing because you know that you need that money in order to survive. I mean, if you don't stand behind your money, I mean, I don't know if you have a family or not, but you can think of it as if someone tries to price gouge you, right? And you let them, you're essentially taking food out of your daughter or your son's or your wife's mouth and giving it to them, right? You are just allowing them to basically give you less money, and you're showing them that you don't value your work as much as you should. So it's an important thing to do, to really think and spend a long time thinking about pricing, and also getting a lot of training on pricing is very important. Training on pricing specifically for handymen is important. Let's see here. I get a lot of jobs from people I know and friends, but struggle with resisting the family and friends rate for them. How do you deal with this? Yes. Oh man, it's something that I still struggle with to this date, is dealing with family and friends. And it's rough because sometimes family and friends think that they deserve a discount just because they are family and friends. But at the end of the day, you have a business to run. And, this is something that I still struggle with. I struggle very, very hard with people that have been my friends for a long time, or my family. I struggle with charging them my full rate. But at the end of the day, that's another important thing of knowing, how much you need to survive, right? So you can establish a friend and a family rate. There's nothing wrong with that, just as long as that rate doesn't go below what you need to survive, and you need to figure that out. So it's just important to figure that out. And again, I got that pricing course over at handymanjourney.com if you want to check that out. There's been a lot of handyman, especially some that have been in here, that have really been impacted by that as well. But great question. Juan Martinez says, I placed an ad on my local city magazine for the summer. It has been great. Now it's more of referrals. Dude, that's awesome, Juan. That's great. See, that's really good. I mean, because it's really important to know what kind of advertising works in your area. So it's very important. Chris Hatcher says, money mailer works great and is a good price. Awesome. That's great, Chris. The neighborhood handyman says that Facebook group. Yeah, man, I'm loving that. I love the Facebook group. It's really been helping a lot. There's a lot of extremely knowledgeable people. There's people in there that have been in the handyman business for years and have way more information than especially me, for sure. So it's an honor to share a Facebook group with these guys and really learn from them on each and every day. So so it's super great. Dan Bob, so that's a great question. I am in St. Louis, Missouri right now. I talked about it a little bit earlier, so maybe go back on the on the video if you want to hear the full story. But basically, we are here for about a month and a half, month and a week or so. We are seeking a specialist for my daughter with some medical issues, so that's why we are here in St. Louis, and I'm currently in the basement of the house that we are staying in. So, thanks for tuning in, Dan. Great question. The neighborhood handyman says, hey, brother, pretty cool to get this live. I wanted to thank you for your videos, advice. I grew the balls to start my business in January, particularly from your videos. Dude, that's awesome, neighborhood handyman. I love to hear that. You are very welcome for my advice. I just feel honored that I'm able to speak with you guys and learn from you as well and offer some kind of advice. I think that's great. So thank you so much for saying that, dude. That is awesome. Austin says, I hate dealing with family and friends in this to either just saying no or just volunteering because I love them. For me, it's a thing where it stresses me enough that either way it is worth it. Yeah. The neighborhood handyman says, I work full time as a fireman and part-time running my handyman business and make more money as a handyman now. Dude, that's awesome. Well, first, thank you for your service being a fireman. We really appreciate it. You guys are some awesome first responders, and I don't know how anything would operate without you guys. So thank you so much for that. And that is super awesome that you're transitioning to be a handyman. That's really cool, and you're making more money doing it. That is great, man. Rich D says, great advice. I definitely value my work and skill set. I will check out your program. I watch your videos while working out. Awesome. Kills two birds with one stone. You make a difference, brother. Hey, thanks, man. Thanks, Rich. I try, man. Sometimes, I mean, most of the time I'm learning and I'm just sharing with you guys what I'm learning and kind of what I've been going through. So I appreciate that I've been able to kind of speak into you guys because you guys have definitely spoken into me. So Dan Bob says, good luck with your kid, bro. I know this has been going on. Yeah, it's been ongoing for a little while for sure, but we're going to get it taken care of. This specialist is pretty top notch, and people from all around the world with the same issue come see the specialist. So we're feeling pretty good about it. She's already had 2 appointments with him, one later this week and surgery in 2 weeks. So things are going good. But it's about 8:30 right now. I'm going to get going. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Remember, brand new video tomorrow morning. I'm going to be talking a little bit about the freedom of owning a handyman business and how my handyman business is still able to keep going back in Sacramento while I'm here in St. Louis, and just the blessing that has been. So thank you all so much for tuning in. I will catch you all on the video tomorrow. And if you haven't yet liked this video, give it a thumbs up. That helps a lot. And also, be sure to watch my video tomorrow morning coming out at 6 a.m. Central Time. And also like that video. When that video comes out, like it, and also comment on that video. I know a lot of you guys, you don't comment on anything. I would absolutely love to hear your opinions on my videos because I want to make my videos better, more educational, and I want to impact you guys. You guys are like the cream of the crop here that tune in on every live video. So I appreciate your opinions. So don't be afraid to leave me a comment and like the video tomorrow morning. I would really appreciate it. And I'd love to communicate with you guys in the comment section of that video tomorrow morning. So thank you all so much for tuning in. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And I will see you all tomorrow morning. Let's see, last few comments here. Dan Bob says, we'll pray for her. I appreciate that. Austin says, it's been a delight. Thanks for always being transparent and honest. Dude, you're welcome. Thank you guys for being honest. I appreciate that. Speedy says, thanks for the video. You're welcome, man. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you guys have a fantastic night, and we'll see you all tomorrow morning on my video, 6 a.m. Central Time, tomorrow morning, Monday. We'll see you guys. Have a great evening, guys. Bye.